So hi guys, welcome back to my channel Cure Warrior, and here we only discuss the interview questions that is asked in the testing interviews. And if you are new to this channel, so it's very important to subscribe and also press the bell icon to get notification about this channel. So today we are going to see another important topic, and it's very important to watch this video till the end. So let's begin. So today's topic is black box testing and white box testing. And for the black box testing, we have a standard definition from the ISTQB, that is testing an application under test without referencing the internal structure is called the black box testing. So this is the definition that is given by the ISTQB. Okay, and testing will be done only by visualizing the application as a black box. So tester need not to worry about the code, they just have to look into the application. Okay, and check the expected behavior. Okay, in black box testing, a tester doesn't have any information about the internal working of the software system. He doesn't have to worry about the code. Okay, black box testing is a high level of testing that focuses on the behavior of the software. You don't have to worry about what the code is written in the for the application. You just have to look into the behavior, that is the expected behavior. Okay, it involves testing from an external or end user perspective. So, for example, if I give you an app to test and I'm asking you to perform the black box testing, so you just, if you are the end user, so what you will do, you will just first log in into the application, or if you are the first end user, you will sign up. You are not worried about how the data is taken from which database or from which table. Okay, so it involves the testing from an end user perspective. Okay, black box testing can be applied to virtually every level of software testing, that is unit integration, system and acceptance testing. Okay, and let me give you a practical example. So for example, when you are operating any TV, that is television, so the TV is your AOT, that is application under test. The remote control or the remote of the TV is the UI that you use to test. You just need to know how to use that TV. Okay, so this was about the black box testing. There are steps that needs to be followed for black box testing. So the steps are that initially the requirements and the specification of the system are examined. Okay, and tester have to choose the valid inputs or the valid test data to check whether the system under test processes them correctly. Also, some invalid inputs are chosen to verify that the system under test is able to detect them. So, for example, if I give you a login scenario where I give you the test data, correct username, correct password, incorrect username, correct password. So correct username and correct password is your valid input. Correct username and correct password is your invalid input. Okay, and tester determines expected output for all those inputs. So it's very obvious, if I provide you valid input or the valid test data, then you can determine the correct output. But if I provide you the invalid input, then you can derive out the invalid or the unexpected results. Okay. Now, software tester construct test cases with the selected inputs. So there can be multiple permutation and combination, but you can select some particular cases to get the application. Okay. The test cases are executed. Next step is software tester compares the actual output with the expected output. So for example, if you're giving the correct username, correct password, and you are expected to see the you are expected to see the login page or the home page. So that is your expected behavior, and what you are actually getting, which screen you are actually getting after providing the correct username and password. If you compare both actual output and the expected output, then you can come to a conclusion whether your test is pass or fail. Okay, so If in both the case, like actual and the expected, you are seeing the home page, it means that your test is successful. Okay. And defects, if any, are fixed and retested. So in during the testing, if you see any discrepancy or any issues, so you have to raise the defect, and the defect need to be fixed and retested. Okay. Now, black box testing techniques. So there are several uh, black box testing techniques like equivalence class testing, boundary value analysis, decision table testing. So what happens in the equivalence class testing, that you create a separate class of test data. So for example, if I give you an application to test where the test data, the valid test data are between 1 to 100. Okay. So in the equivalence class partitioning, what you do, you will create a separate class of test data for positive number. You will create a separate class of test data for negative number. You will create a separate class of test data for decimal number. And it's like picking a single test data from a particular class is like checking all the data from that particular class. Okay, so this is the main advantage of equivalence class partitioning. Okay, now in the boundary value analysis, what you do, that you check the boundary values from a particular equivalence class. So for example, if I am taking a equivalence class from the positive number, okay, and for me the boundary value is between 1 to 100. Okay, so what I will do, I will check at 0, I will check at 1, I will check at 99, I will check at 100, or also I will check at 101. So when I'm checking at 0, my test case will definitely fail, because for me the valid value is between 1 to 100. So at 0 the test case will fail, at 1 test case will pass, at 99 test case will pass, 100 test case will pass, but at 101 test case will fail. So instead of checking all the values between 1 to 100, what I will do, I will just do the testing at the boundary level, that is 0, 1, 99, 100 and 101. Okay. Now in the decision table testing, what you will do is that if you are putting correct username, correct password, the decision, what it will tell, that your test case is pass. If you provide correct username, incorrect password, then your test case will fail. So in this case, in this way, you have to create several combination of each column. Okay. Now the tools that we generally use for black box testing is, for functional testing and regression testing we use QTP, Selenium. For non-functional testing we use tools like LoadRunner and Jimit. Okay. Now what is white box testing? So let's start with the ISTQB definition. So white box testing means testing an application with reference to the internal structure of the software component is called white box testing. And white box testing is a technique which checks the internal functioning of the system, means the internal code, how the code is working, from which function, which method is getting triggered, which functionality is getting triggered from which function. So all those kind of testing is done. In this method, testing is based on coverage of code, statements, branches, paths or conditions. Okay. And white box testing is considered as low level testing. Okay. It is also called as glass box, transparent box, clear box or code based testing. So in the interview, you can also be asked like, what is glass box testing. So you need not to worry about that. You just have to think that glass box, transparent box, clear box, everything is known as white box testing. So you have to tell them the answer as per the white box testing. Okay. Now a practical example is car. So car is your AUT, means application under test. The user is the black box tester, and the mechanic who knows all the functionality of the car, how the engine works. So all this is known as the white box test. Okay. Now in white box testing, The tools that we generally use is NUnit, PyUnit for Python, HTML unit, CPP unit for C++, Parasoft, JTest. Okay. Now, how do you perform white box testing? So, while doing the white box testing, the first thing is that you have to understand the source code. Okay. So, a tester have to learn and understand the source code of the application. Since white box testing involves the testing of the inner working of an application, the tester must be very knowledgeable in programming language used in the application they are testing. Okay, create test case and execute. So the second basic step to white box testing means testing the application source code for proper flow and structure. So the one way is by writing more code to test the application source code. Okay. Now the advantages of the white box testing. So what happens in the white box testing is that your code will be optimized by finding hidden errors. Okay. When you are finding hidden errors, you can optimize your code. Okay. White box test cases can be easily automated. You can easily automate those test cases. Testing is more thorough as all code paths are usually covered. Okay. Also, testing can start very early in the SDLC, even if GUI is not available. Okay. GUI means the UI, graphical user interface. Okay. Now, disadvantages of the white box testing. So, the white box testing can be quite complex and expensive, and developers who usually execute white box test cases actually test it. Okay, the white box testing by developer is not detailed, can lead to production error. So if the developer who is performing the white box testing has not performed the test cases or not executed the test cases in details, can lead to production errors. Okay, also the white box testing requires professional resources with a detailed understanding of programming language. So for example, if I give this white box testing to a manual tester who doesn't have the prior knowledge of any programming language or understanding about the resources that is being used or the technology, so that doesn't give a fruitful result because he or she will not be able to perform that level of testing which a developer or the person having the knowledge about the programming and the technology. Okay, also white box testing is quite time consuming. Bigger programming application take the time to test fully. Okay, now summary, a very important part. Okay, so in black box testing, testing is done with the knowledge of internal structure of the program or application, whereas in white box testing, testing is done with the knowledge of internal structure of program. Okay, also in the black box testing, it doesn't require the programming language, whereas the white box testing requires the programming language. In black box testing, the main goal is to test the behavior of the software, whereas in white box testing, the main goal is to test the internal operation of the system. So in the black box testing, it is very focused on the external or end user perspective, whereas white box testing is focused on the code structure, condition, path coverages, and branches. Okay. In the black box testing, provides low granularity reports, whereas the white box test provides high granularity reports. Means when you are providing the black box testing and you are providing the report, so the report that you are providing will contain the uh, things like how many test cases passed, which scenario failed. But when I'm talking about the white box, it will be very granular. Means it will be very detailed. It will have which function failed to perform the expected behavior, where the code is failing, where the code coverage is not done. So all kind of details is provided in the white box test results. Okay. In black box testing is not a time consuming process, whereas white box testing is a time consuming process. Okay. So The interview question that comes from the black box and white box testing is the difference. They will ask you the difference between the black box and white box testing. So be very focused in this section. Okay, so that's all in this video, and we will see most interesting and important topics in the upcoming videos. So please subscribe to my channel, like the videos, and also comment down on the video if you have any queries. So thank you for watching.